So it's a Friday night, and the girls at the house wanted me out of the house so they could have a nice big party. And they told me that there was a meeting on Allegheny Avenue. And I was like, okay. So I put my jeans on, and I walked up, and the place that they told me to go to, there was no meeting. So I was like talking to God like I always do. And I was like, God, like, I get out of jail, you send me to I go to a crack house. I mean, is this just all some big joke? I mean, really? Like, I mean, I have a pocket full of money, you know, I didn't know what to do. You know, I felt really lost and alone. And I just kept walking. And I saw a light on in this church. The light was on. And I was like, oh, well, maybe that's where they met. So I came in, and there was a woman. I thought it was a girl. She looked like a teenager to me. And she was kneeling on the ground, and I thought she was crying that someone had hurt her. So I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she was like, I'm praying. And I was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, because this doesn't look like any church that I've ever been in. I'm a Catholic. It wasn't fancy enough. So I just, you know, I didn't know what it was. And then I went and I sat over there, and Sister Jackie, who I didn't know from a can of paint, came up and sat down next to me. And she introduced herself, and she had this voice that I could listen to for the rest of my life. She was probably one of the most gentlest souls I've ever met in my life. And as she talked to me, I just felt something inside me break apart. And the musicians started up here, and they started to sing, and it wasn't Ave Maria. And sitting with this woman and feeling this thing happen, I felt like my heart just ripped open, and I cried for 2 hours. I mean, my pants were drenched from the tears that fell, and I never wanted to leave that chair because I could feel what I now know is God. He was here. I felt him. He was here. And he had been waiting for me.